Hey guys, welcome back to Confessions of a Girl Boss. Today we have a little bit of a different video. You guys can probably tell I am in my kitchen right now and I have this super fancy headset on. I am starting off a new, hopefully, series on this channel where I want to get other women who are running their online businesses and killing it or pivoting and have things to share. I want to get them on here to talk to you guys and just have a conversation with them, because my opinions and my views on everything is not golden. And I know that there are so many other experiences and stories to tell. And Confessions of a Girl Boss was always supposed to be that place. So I'm super excited to bring my first interview with you today. I'm going to be talking to Alex. She used to own a planner sticker shop, but now she's pivoted. And I've known her for a few years now, and I'm super excited to get to talk to her. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into that. Bear with me with the format because I'm not entirely sure how to do this. This was always my idea for the podcast, but obviously with the podcast, you can have that long form content. But with the YouTube channel, I don't know if it should just be audio or video and audio. So let me know what you guys think in a comment, because I'd love your feedback as this kind of like evolves into what I hope is something great. So yeah, let's just go ahead and jump into everything. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe with the red button down below so you never miss another video. And yeah, let's get into the interview. Hi, welcome to the Confessions of a Girl Boss channel. I know I already said thank you for being my first guest, but thank you for being my first guest.
Of course.
Everybody, this is Alex, and I'm just going to go ahead and let you tell who you are, what your kind of general story is, and kind of go from there.
Yeah. Well, I guess it starts a long time ago. Like most people, my shop started when I got an Erin Condren planner back in like 2013, 2014, like most of us.
Yeah.
An OG, I like to call myself.
Did you open in 2013?
It was like end of 2013, beginning of 2014.
Oh, wow. You were like
Yeah.
super OG.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
So I started making stickers for myself, like most people, because I felt like the shops that were out there, it was so expensive.
Yeah.
And I was a college student at the time. I was an RA, so I had a very packed schedule. I had 2 other jobs on top of being an RA and being in school, and so I just needed something to keep my life together.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
also being fun and pretty,
Yeah.
stuff like that. So that's kind of how my shop started. I did it for quite a while, and then I eventually pivoted and started doing hand-drawn doodles exclusively. And it was, I mean, we can talk about this later, but it was a very hard time in my life because I kind of was feeling really lost, and I was looking for something new and exciting to be, to have, and everyone seemed to love them.
So your shop was the Paperly Boutique, and then you changed your name to Paper Bow Prints.
I should have said that, yes.
No, you're fine. So now your shop is closed. So you closed like a month ago?
It was about a month ago.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And how are you feeling like post-close?
It's different. It's really hard being on a consumer side of things, to be honest with you, because I still shop with people and I still plan and do stickers, and it's a little different, but to be honest, I like don't have a weight on my chest anymore.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Which is really weird to say, because I honestly never thought I would be at a point like that where I felt like my life revolved around something so small.
Yeah. So let's go back. You said you pivoted to hand-drawn doodles. So you were looking for something in your life that like you kind of just needed something like more and exciting.
Yeah.
So like, what do you think caused that change?
I think I just wanted to stand out. Like, I felt like I was around it honestly was probably an internal thing. It's a huge, you talk about, at least in the podcast before, with comparison. That was a huge thing. And me doing kits, I just felt like everything was exactly the same as everyone else. And with being in school, I really didn't have a lot of time to dedicate to my shop, and I felt like I wasn't growing as fast as, people that were doing it full time.
Right.
And I honestly, like, looking back, I do feel like that was a huge hindrance in my growth, was I wasn't able to put as much time and effort into it as a
Right.
lot of the other people. And I feel like that was a huge, but I also wouldn't regret going to school.
Yeah, no, of
So
course.
it's,
Yeah, it's like a catch
even though
22.
I'm not even using a degree, but
Yeah.
anymore.
I mean, I majored in Italian and I do not speak Italian. So
Oh my God, that's so cool though. So yeah, I think that when I switched to Doodles, which was, I actually only switched in 2019. It was May of 2019 was when I decided to kind of do a complete overhaul. I was unhappy, I felt like my customers weren't really as into it as they were anymore. And
yeah.
that's actually when I started noticing the planner sticker world kind of shifting to minimal stuff. People weren't using kits as often, and that's when I was like, I need to pivot. I need to do something. I need to make myself happy. And so that's when I did the rebrand in 2019. And so we were doing exclusive doodles and doodle stickers and doodle kits, stuff like that. So it was all hand drawn.
Do you think, did that help like your creativity?
It did for a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
yeah.
it did for a few months. And then people weren't as excited about it anymore. And yeah, it just kind of, it didn't help that I also was getting married last year.
Yeah.
And so I planned our entire wedding. We didn't have a wedding planner. And so that took a lot of my time, especially because we got married like 5 or 6 hours from where we lived. So I traveled back and forth almost every other weekend to meet with vendors, and I just didn't have as much time. And it was really hard to force myself to do something that I just didn't have the passion for anymore.
Right. Yeah. I totally feel that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel that.
It burned. I guess it was a burnout was a huge factor in me shutting down completely, as well as pivoting, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
So what would you say would be the biggest hurdle that you faced? Do you think maybe the burnout was because of how you ran your shop? Because I know for me, I feel like it was because I was so focused on like doing new releases all the time and like not being ready to ship and just trying to keep up, that just like really affected my mental state and caused me to be burnt out, because I was also comparing myself to everybody else at the same time.
Yeah.
So I don't know, what would you say your biggest?
I think it was a mix of things. I think that honestly, the biggest thing for me was like margins and charging what I think that I should have been charging, and how, I don't know. I mean, it's just so hard because of what I'm doing now. I would never do a sale ever. And to be honest, like, I shouldn't. And I've realized that in the few months that I had, that I'm worth more than that. And I think it's hard in a world, especially in the planner sticker world, and I don't want this to come off bad, but like $1 for a sheet of stickers that takes me 2 hours to draw, 3 hours to format, and each sheet takes 10 minutes to cut because they're so detailed.
Intricate, yeah.
It was so draining for me to do that. I just feel like I wasn't, and I don't want this to come off bad or, anything like that, because I love my customers and I love, people who supported me and stuff like that. But I just feel like I wasn't charging my worth. Yeah. And a comparison game, of course, is huge.
Yeah. No, I freaking love that you said that you were worth more, because I don't think it's something that's necessarily like a bad thing towards your customers, because we're also customers. And like you said, when you close your shop, it is an expensive hobby. So like you get it. Like, and I remember I said in one of my videos in the past, I hated feeling like I had the same little core group of customers that like really wanted to support me all the time, but I
Yep.
hated feeling like they had to support me all the time,
Yes.
you know? So I don't think it's like a
100%.
bad thing towards your customers at all.
Yeah, no, I still talk to every single one of, they have my phone number, like we chat all the time type of thing.
Yeah.
So it's never anything. I just feel like it was so hard to watch other big shops charge what they're worth and, you know, make so much money, and me think that I should be charging that and feeling like I couldn't because I wouldn't get any sales. So
Right. Yeah.
it was just very draining to continue to do that over and over and over.
Yeah, it's like a vicious circle.
Yeah,
Once you get
yeah,
that in your head too, it's just like a vicious circle that's like hard
yeah.
to get out of. Okay, so we talked about like what your biggest hurdle was. What was your favorite part of running a shop? A planner shop? Because
Oh, there's
you
so
still run
many
an online
things.
store.
There's so many things that like made me love. I think it was mostly creating something and seeing how others use it in so many different ways. Because I could think of something as one way and design it that way, and then someone would buy it and it would look completely different on someone else's thing. And that was just the coolest thing ever. And also just making like lifelong friendships with some people that I never would have thought I would be friends with, you know? So my customers still are, even though they don't shop, you know, have a shop anymore, are some of my favorite people ever. So that probably is my favorite part.
Agree. Okay, so you pivoted so now you're doing wedding invitations and wedding suites and stuff like that, and they're gorgeous. So it's alexkorynne.com.
It's Korynne and Co.
Korynne and Co.
Korynne.co. Yes.
Korynne.co. I'll leave all the links in the description box anyway. But what made you take that pivot? Because it's not something that like would like be a natural pivot.
No. I think that I designed my own wedding invitations because I had a background in Photoshop and InDesign, and I just love typography so much. I love playing with fonts, and so I designed our own last year, and it actually I spent months learning the wording and how to place things and different vendors that I should be using and stuff like that. So it took me so long to just do one wedding invitation. And so after I sent them out, I had so many friends that were like, whoa, like I'm getting married. Can you do these for me? And it was kind of to the point where it kind of clicked. And it was like, I spent so much time and money and effort learning how to do this myself. Why not?
Yeah.
So it kind of started out as that, and a bunch of my friends are getting married, and so I'm doing their weddings, and then also a bunch of other people's right now. So even though, well, I shouldn't say I am because everything's on pause.
Oh, I know.
It's a great time to start a wedding business, everyone.
I know. So besides the whole pandemic BS, but from a marketing standpoint, did you find that pivot hard, or like were you able to kind of take what you learned in some of your customer base from your sticker shop and kind of like move them over, or was it like a fresh start? Or
it was kind of a mix of both. A lot of my customers know that I do that, but I don't really like talk about it on my old account as much. And it's a fresh start, which is really nice, but it's also really difficult because it's a completely different type of customer base.
Yeah.
Like my old shop, I could jump on Instagram in a head towel, like out of the shower and say whatever. But for some reason, I don't know what it is, and I've had a mental block where I can't do that on this account for some reason. I don't know why. And so it's completely different, the way that I market versus how I used to. I think it's a lot more refined, but I'm also trying to navigate, and this happened when I was doing my branding for this new shop. I I didn't even design my own branding, which is weird because I do branding for other people. So
Yeah.
it's really strange. I was just like, I don't want to do it
Yeah.
myself, as weird as that is. And I told the designer, I was like, I want it to be professional and refined, but I also want it to be, have my personality. But I'm still learning. I need to bring that personality to, my social media and Instagram and stuff because that's who I am.
Yeah. Well, would you say that now that you've like had the experience of running a business, would you say launching a new one, you kind of are taking it more seriously or?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like 100%. It's so different. And even my husband has said that. He's like, you're taking this so much. Like it sounds so terrible. I used to like not do my taxes as, I didn't have a folder on my desktop with everything. And now every time I buy something, I print out the receipt and it goes in a binder. Like it's so different the way, I don't want to say I feel like I have a grown up. Later sticker shops are, those are businesses, but I feel like it's just completely different than it used to be, which is really nice and it's refreshing to have a business that I feel like I can actually scale.
Okay, so you talked about scale. Like, where do you see your business going in, say, like 5 years?
5 years. 5 years, I would love to have at least like 2 or 3 employees working for me. I would love to have like my own letterpress. I don't know if you know what that is. So it's
is it like the things that, like you did the envelope seals?
No, that's wax seal. Those are great. Those are
I know.
amazing.
They make your stuff look so much more professional. Every time I see you do them, it's so satisfying.
I don't know if you're on TikTok, but you need to get on TikTok because one of my wax seal videos just hit 600,000 views and I put it up 4 days ago. So it's like,
I need to get on TikTok like for Confessions of a Girl Boss, but I just don't know what to put on there.
Anything. I used to be so against it, and then that one went viral. Every time I check it, it's like thousands of more views and likes, and I'm like,
no, that's awesome.
But so 5 years from now, I would love to have a few employees. I would love to have a space outside of the house. I don't know if it's so much a brick and mortar type of thing. I don't think I would do brick and mortar, but just like a space, an office space.
Yeah.
And I would love to have my own letterpress. I don't do anything in-house, which also helps a lot. The only thing I do is envelope printing in-house and wax seals and stuff like that. Coming from printing and cutting stickers for 60 hours every day, it's a breath of fresh air to outsource things. I wish that I could do that with stickers, but
there are a few shops, I think. Paper and Glam, I think she outsources all of her stuff.
What?
Yeah. It's just like expensive, so you have to like charge obviously the prices for it.
Yeah.
What would your advice be for someone who wanted to, well, first, what would your advice be for somebody who wanted to open a sticker shop? And then what would your advice be for somebody just in business in general?
Okay, so sticker shop related is we kind of talked about know your worth. Don't go by, and I've learned this a lot in my new businesses, don't go by what other people are pricing. Go on what you think you should be pricing your work.
Yes.
I think that community dictates a lot of that. So price your worth. I don't even know if that's the saying, price your worth. Is that right?
Yeah. I think so. I think so.
And take time off.
Yes.
Spend time with your family. I have had too many missed family functions for, things that could have waited. So take time with your family and just have fun with it. I think that I started to take it a little too seriously, even though it is a business, but have fun with it. And in business in general, I love how I was just like, have fun with it, but now I'm like, take it seriously.
No, I think have fun with it. You mean more of like, let your personality shine and not be like whatever about it.
Yeah.
Like, take it seriously, but also like let your personality shine and come through. And
see, thank you. I'm
respect.
like, I got you.
I got you.
I think in just honing down in, I've realized finding your own style is very important and that it can go both ways in planner stickers and in business, because there's a million bajillion businesses out there. And I don't know if it's so much as a niche, but just finding your own style, and not, looking at other people's businesses and comparing yourself to them, whether that's how much they've scaled or how busy they are, or even, design wise. So
right.
I think just keep your blinders on and grind is a huge thing.
Yeah. Well, where can everybody find you so they can follow you? Alex's Instagram feed is like seriously goals.
I have so many. So I have a planner Instagram still. It's just Paperboat Prints, so I still have that. But I also have my other business Instagram, which is Korynne and Company, and my handle is Korynne.co.
I'll leave it down below.
It spells weird. It's my middle name, and my mom spelled my middle name.
It's really pretty.
Oh, thank you. And the website is the exact same as well, so it makes it all super easy.
Well, I'm excited to see what happens and where you bring your business.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on and talking to me, being my first guest.
Having me.
Ripping the Band-Aid off.
I'll come back, like, time back.
Okay, well, bye guys.
Bye.